bayou to the Rocky Mountains, and the depths of the Pacific to the sandbars of New England, this is Boat Trader's Stomping Grounds. From small bass boats to giant offshore titans and everything in between, boaters across America show us why they love their boat and exactly what makes it the perfect vessel for their neck of the woods. In this episode, we're heading to Florida's Panhandle region to meet up with some unique and notable folks living that true Floridian lifestyle, including a very special guest, a country music star known as Beach Cowboy, who shares with us what his highway on the water is all about and why it's special.
Hey people, it's Ryan and welcome back to another episode of Stomping Grounds. I'm here in the playground of the Gulf Coast, Florida's Panhandle region, which goes by a lot of different nicknames, from the Miracle Strip to the Emerald Coast, and even the Redneck Riviera. It's also the stomping grounds of country superstar Brian Kelley of the band Florida Georgia Line. He's also got his own debut solo album in which he sings all about boating, boat culture, and boating lifestyle. He even has a track in which he sings about shopping for his newest boat on Boat Trader. So naturally we had to reach out to him, and he graciously invited us to come for a ride on his sport fishing yacht. So let's go meet up with him right now in this episode.
Our first stop to visit BK is along Florida's Emerald Coast. Pretty much all I can remember, there was always a boat around in our life. My parents had like a tiny little house with an old little boat, little family boat is what I'd call it. And we'd hit the springs, we'd hit the river. Just the water was always a playground, whether we were tubing or kneeboarding or fishing or just cruising around looking for just alligators or manatees. It's always been a highway on the water in a sense, and a lane of freedom to just get out there, get some sun. It's just, I think, part of that Florida lifestyle, it just kind of comes natural. I just always thought that one day, I'd love to have a big boat, after working hard and waiting and being patient. And it's always been a lifelong dream to have a sport fisher. I'd looked at so many different boats in person, online. I have the Yacht World and Boat Trader app on my phone, and when we were looking for this boat, I was frequenting them like throughout the day, multiple times, just clicking, updating. Artie Davenport, who works with Galati Yachts, he's been a buddy for years, and he actually sent this one over, and it was in Costa Rica at the time and getting shipped back over. And when it landed in South Florida, a buddy called him and he called me and said, hey, it's as awesome as the listing looks, and we need to move on this.
What kind of checked all the boxes for Brian Kelley is a custom line. Sunny Briggs is a boat builder up in Wanchese, North Carolina. It's a custom boat, and with Brian's criteria and his pedigree, he fell in love with that vessel.
We're sitting on the 56 Sunny Briggs, the Brittney Marie. It's after my wife, and I just said, hey babe, I want to name it after you. She's just got one of those names, Brittney Marie. It sounds like a boat name. I always thought boat names tell a lot about the person, the boat, and they tell a lot of stories, and they have a lot of meaning. Spending some time in Apalachee, Florida, I've seen some really cool boat names, and I just wanted to be super intentional with this boat.
I sound crazy, but one day I'm gonna make your name one of them boat names. Right or wrong way, it's a living life in the slow lane.
This whole thought of one of these days I'm gonna make your name one of them boat names. I went into the right with that and a little bit of the verse, and just wrote a love song to Brittney about making her name a boat name one day. We didn't have this boat at the time, so I think I guess I manifested through that song this boat or something like that.
Seeing he and his family and his wife especially being on the boat, their love for the water, their compassion for fishing, I've never seen a happier couple. After finding Brian's perfect vessel, we've taken it to the Keys with his friends and family on a couple cruises. And the next idea that Brian wants is a marlin tournament.
I wanted a turnkey boat ready to rock. I didn't want to have to do any work, or I didn't really want a project. Love the tower. I think that's a must on a sport fisher. Great fighting chair. I love the teak work. Just the shape of the transom to me is really beautiful. Kind of pops. The inside's got these, going down the stairs, it's got these 2 bunks cut out on the left going down the steps, and it reminded me of a tour bus, seeing that. So I was like, that's pretty, maybe that's a sign. I took it as a sign, you know? Putting out a solo record has always been a lifelong dream as well as owning a big boat. So my first album is called Sunshine State of Mind, and 17 songs. Bunch of music videos, wanted to load everybody up with content, and we had a blast making this record. It was so much fun. We did some of it in the Keys in Jimmy Buffett's studio, Shrimp Boat Sound, and in Key West right there. We took this boat down there actually. When the weather was good, we fished, and when it was kind of blowing, we were either writing or knocking out vocals in the studio. There's a lot of boat songs, a lot of boat themes, and I think people are going to connect with it. There's a lot of boaters, there's a lot of people like me out there. This lifestyle is a part of so many people's lives.
On our cruise with BK and Brittney, we got to listen to almost every track off his new album, and there are more than a few of them destined to become classic boating anthems that really capture the Florida vibe.
Really looking forward to the fans connecting to these songs with the water and the outdoors and their loved ones. And at the end of the day, it really don't take much, but just being together, no matter if you're on a John boat or a big boat or on a cruise or whatever it is, just spending time with those that you love on the water, that's cheap therapy right there. Florida is one of my muses. I love Florida. I'll always be a Florida boy. I'm so thankful to be born and raised in Florida. I love how George Strait, you know, sings and sang about Texas so much. I think that's just authentic to him. And so when it came to me making my record, I wanted to make it authentic. And there's a song called Florida Boy Forever. Really means a lot to me. Absolutely love the Panhandle too. White sand, emerald green water, teal blue water. It's absolutely stunning. There's a lot that this area offers. There's a lot of, there's thousands of acres of trails, state parks. There's so many different fisheries between the Choctawhatchee Bay, the Gulf. You've got rivers flowing in and out of the Choctawhatchee Bay, so it's just kind of unlimited fun. If the weather's good, we're outside doing something fun, fishing, surfing, doing the Florida lifestyle. The Florida history to me is very intriguing and very deep and very rich in culture, and Florida's just an amazing place. In my dream world, and I don't know if this will happen, but in my dream world, my next adventure with Brittney and some friends would be a tour de Florida. So just a boat tour of Florida, play some shows. Lord willing, the dots will connect and we can make it happen. But to me, I think doing it on a boat would be just as much fun or more, so.
After cruising the waters around the Emerald Coast and BK's Sportfishing Yacht, our crew headed east to check out another side of Panhandle boat life and explore the inland rivers and waterways that feed into the Gulf of Mexico. The Panhandle's eastern counties make up the Big Bend region, where the curve of Apalachee Bay creates a broad natural indentation named after the Apalachee tribe who inhabited the area. The coast here is characterized by sprawling marshlands and vast woodlands, along with a low population density and abundant wildlife. Rivers play an important role in the region's culture, ecosystem, and economy, with 4 separate rivers draining into the bay, including the St. Marks.
All right, everyone, so now we've come to check out a different side of the boat culture here in the Panhandle of Florida. We're actually on the St. Marks River now. I'm standing on a hurricane deck boat, bit of an older boat with a 100-horse outboard on the back. We're gonna go up and down this river here, down to the Gulf and back, and talk to some locals about kind of this side of the boating lifestyle around here. So come for a ride with me.
The St. Marks River originates in the hardwood and cypress river swamps of the Red Hills area and flows for 35 miles through Florida before emptying into the Apalachee Bay. It's also home to the threatened wood storks, the only species of stork that breeds in the United States.
Our float plan was to take out this 2007 Hurricane Fun Deck to St. Mark's Lighthouse, but Mother Nature ended up having some surprises in store for us.
This is why you want to look at the weather before you come out. We knew there were some storms around, but this thing is getting kind of nasty, so we're going to turn back around and head back to the mouth of the river and try to hug a bank and just wait the storm out. We're going to get hammered no matter what we do, but that's always a smart decision, just do the safest choice, right?
So our decision not to try to race the storm south actually turned out to be right, as it quickly formed all around us, and every other small boat was heading in too. A 19-foot deck boat like this is great for entertaining on calm rivers and lakes, but it's not the kind of boat you want to be out in the Gulf in a storm on.
It's starting to pelt us now. The rain is stinging, it's coming in sideways. So even if you have a bimini top like this, it doesn't do too much. But the good thing is we are back by the riverbanks, so we're not the tallest thing around now, and give us a little bit of shelter. All right, so it's starting to clear a little bit, still a little bit of drizzle, but we're coming up the St. Mark's River. There's a bunch of yellow flies around. St. Mark's River runs about 36 miles through Leon County and Wakulla County down to Apalachee Bay, which is where we just were getting hit by the storm. They used to run cotton up and down this river. It's got a lot of history here, a lot of wildlife. We just passed an osprey sitting on a tree and a couple nests. We've seen some big fish jump up and down here. But yeah, it's really pretty, deep woods. And we also just passed a diesel power plant. Sodium hydroxide stored there. They bring it in from the Gulf up through Apalachee Bay and up this river. And I just got bit by a yellow fly. Yellow flies are like up north, back in the Cape, we have greenheads. Y'all have yellow flies, I guess.
We're real Floridian now.
Yeah. This part of Florida is known as the Forgotten Coast. There's not a lot of tourism around here, so it's mostly just kind of a local scene. A lot of locals prefer to keep it that way. Pretty quiet, a lot of nature, some good fishing, and some good backcountry woods. So one of the reasons maybe why a lot of tourists and anglers don't come here are the people that are interested in getting off the coast into deeper water. It's actually kind of a trek from the St. Mark's to get out to deeper water. You got to go real far till you get to 20-foot depths and beyond. So a better jump off spot is down by like the Emerald Coast where we were the other day with Brian Kelley. Oh, there's that osprey. Look at that. Oh, he's got a fish.
Yeah, she's still got it too.
That's awesome. So Andrew was telling me that in the St. Mark's you want to stay basically towards the middle. Here it's a pretty narrow river, and the trees fall on either side, and then they can get. There's actually one right up here that fell over, and you can't really see them after a while. So best bet is to stay towards the center usually. All right, so a little pro tip here. A lot of people ask us how to properly tie off a cleat at the dock. Andrew's gonna show us. We just brought this deck boat back here. All right, Andrew. So fully around once. Yep. There you go.
When we got back to Shields Marina, we had some great local seafood, and Andrew and Kelly told me that their friend at a nearby marina was an underwater archaeologist who had just finished a dive and invited us over to his boat to chat for a bit.
Shawn Joy is a maritime project manager for one of the largest maritime archaeology programs in the world, and his vital research and fieldwork in the Gulf of Mexico has made him one of the leading submerged archaeologists in the country. He was gracious enough to invite our crew aboard his sailboat to learn more about the region and what he does.
Hold on, let me put my laundry.
All right. What do you study here, like underwater archaeology-wise? Like, what is there to study in this area?
We do, oh god, dude, this is the mecca for submerged pre-contact. So, back when during the Ice Age, sea levels were like 400 feet lower than they were today.
Yeah.
So Florida was almost 3/4 the size that it is today.
Yeah.
And so if you went directly out from here, you could go 100, 200 kilometers before you would hit the beach 14,000 years ago when people were living here.
Right.
And so there's sites all over the place out here. And so right now we're just close in. We're like, I don't know, 5-6 miles off the coast. And
The
we're
one you're
finding-
studying now?
Yeah, and we're finding sites all over the place out there. And yeah, we're mapping them, we're documenting them. And it's, we're using methods that folks haven't used before. We're kind of developing that and developing those technology to like find sites out there.
Yeah.
It was born here in this area in Apalachee Bay,
Yeah.
Florida. And we're kind of continuing on with the dream.
Shawn has logged hundreds of hours of scientific diving and has documented sites with an extensive library of underwater photography. His photos have been featured in Smithsonian Magazine and Popular Archaeology. He's also always on a quest to find his next new dream boat for field research.
So wait, it's a motor sailor.
It's a motor sailor.
It's a 30 what? 32 footer. You got Star Wars playing.
Winger Queen going on.
Winger Queen. It's nice, man. The wood is nice.
Yeah, man. I love it.
Nice.
Love it. It's a 1988, dude. The head's brand new. I just redid all that. So all that tile, that sink. There's a sunroof in there. This is all, like the motor's been torn through. That's all been redone.
Oh wow, that's clean. It's a Volvo Penta.
Yep. So that's an AC unit. So it blows all through the boat. Rear
Little aft cabin.
Yeah. One of the next trips that we're gonna take in this boat is follow the St. Mark's out off the coast. On land, when you find rivers that meet up, there's usually archaeologists.
Yeah.
So there should be one
That's
off
cool.
the coast. So we'll take our equipment out there and scan, and we'll try and find, we have signatures for like archaeological remains that we find in our geophysical equipment. We'll look for those signatures. When we find them, we'll be over the side, diving on them. Yeah.
What kind of boat do you guys use for that? You use this boat.
We use
No
this
kidding.
boat, or
Yeah.
we use a pontoon boat.
Okay.
We just, we're in the process of buying a new Donzi, a 32-foot Donzi, and that'll be our new, like, go fast boat. They say it's going to be 1 to 2s, it's going to be 4 to 5s.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. We went out, and it was supposed to lay down. It didn't. And here we were in force, right? Everybody's getting sick. Everybody's not having a great time. And, dude, we had problems going on with the jib. And all of a sudden, we're like going this way. And it comes right off, dude. And I was like, what the and now you're trying to like get like on course with, and now this is missing, and so now I'm like driving with this like kiddie wheel down here. It was a mess. It was a disaster.
We hit a wave, and she tried to steady herself on the chair,
Which is on hinges.
which wasn't
Yeah, which was
latched,
unhinged.
wasn't latched correctly.
Wasn't latched, yeah.
Told
So
me
instead,
while I'm
she
steering.
pulled the guy's
This
steering.
whole entire thing. You were going off the ship, and I literally had no one, and I was like, Kevin! I don't know, I pointed at the garment, and the projection black line. I'm like, Kevin, keep this black line pointed at that island. I jumped out the sunroof.
Jumped out of here.
And went over to fix the spool. And as I'm like heading towards the spool, like I feel us going this way, I get to the spool and I look back and Kevin's going like this. I'm following the black line. I'm following the black line.
It was the projected.
It was just a projected yeah. So wherever he was going, the black line was going, and we did a complete 360 in like 4 or 5 foot waves. So all of them just while I'm trying to like get the line back.
After learning about some of Shawn's research and hearing some of his tales from the water, we decided it was time to let him finish his laundry and call it a day here in the Florida Panhandle.
In this episode, we've seen why the Florida Panhandle draws millions of tourists every year to its beautiful coastal towns, harbors, rivers, and waterways, and what makes it a uniquely special area to explore and enjoy by boat.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us for this episode of Stomping Grounds. We're off to the next location now. We don't quite know where it is. We're driving across the country, stopping along the way, catching all the awesome boat stories that we can. If you've got one, send it to us, and maybe we'll come to your neck of the woods next. All right, I'm Ryan with Boat Trader, and we'll catch you all next time.
What's your stomping grounds? Follow us on youtube.com/BoatTrader and on Instagram at BoatTraderUSA, and share your boating stories for a chance to be featured. Who knows, maybe we'll come to your neighborhood next. This is Boat Trader's Stomping Grounds.